Hiya folks, JD here, and today we've got this. This is the Visuo XS812. Ooh, this looks quite nice. Look at the packaging. Looks really quite nice, this does. So his packaging is matte colour. There's not really a lot to it. It just looks quite striking. So when you open the lid, this is what you have. So you have a little bit of plastic in here. Then obviously the plastic is covering the quadcopter. So we'll come to this in a second. Let's move that to one side. Let's keep on going through this layers of plastic. I do wish companies would find something else to use than just layers upon layers upon layers of plastic. And then underneath this plastic, then we have our manual. Okay, so that is everything. Right, so let's put everything to one side, apart from what it is that we're after, which is this bad boy. Look at this. This looks incredible. Now it's got Visuo's very, very striking look. This has been slightly modelled. You have it once again got the eyes like you have on most Visuo models. But you have this little bit here, this little cutout, which is a lot different. Looks a little bit nicer, looks a little bit stylish. It feels quite heavy. It really is quite tough as well. Really well built. Really well put together. Now there's a lot about this that we're going to talk about. So let's start off with the foldable arms. Just fold them down, click them into place, that's it. There's no button to unclick them, there's no button to click them into place. Once you fold them down, it makes quite a large copter. Quite a large copter indeed. Feels nice, feels really well weighted. Feels, yeah, really quite nicely balanced as well. Everything about it just feels really quite nice. Now, let's start off at the front. So as we've said, we've got this nice little cutout at the front here, working our way back, really visually striking this quadcopter, matte black but with this very striking gold. We've seen this on other Visuo models on the channel from a few months ago and from a few years ago as well. Working our way towards the back, this is what you have. You have your battery directly at the back. Now this battery is a monster. It's a 3.85 volt, 1800 milliamp hour. That should give you up to 15 minutes of flight and charges in about 180 to 200 minutes. That's not too bad. Feels quite nice as well. Doesn't feel as if this one hasn't bubbled, which is good. So let's pop that back in. Nice. I'm not going to push it all the way in. I'm going to have to charge this a little bit, so I'm not going to bother pushing it all the way in. On the underside then we have just some aeration holes here, just to let some heat dissipate. Then we can see this quadcopter is GPS. So we have a little GPS symbol here, and then we have our on and off button. Actually, can I just put that in? Let's have a little look. So if I can click this battery in, wow, that battery is not going in. Is there anything? Yes, there is. There's something stopping it. A little bit of plastic that says, please tear open before use. There we go. That would be handy if I actually saw that before pushing it. But there we go. There we are. That fits in a lot nicer. Now, we were underneath. There's going to be some flashing lights. With it on, then we get the two lights flash at the front, two red eyes. Then you have green LEDs to the front, orange LEDs to the back. Okay, let's turn that off as well. I got to say something. Now, you're going to think this is quite strange. That's a great switch. A lot of these switches feel quite flimsy. This actually feels really nice. It's a tight switch. As you push it, it doesn't wiggle up and down. It just moves quite sturdy. Then we've got the fact that there's a sticker underneath here on the camera module next to the dual antennas, which is saying it is 1080p HD camera. Now I'll be quite intrigued to see how good this output is from this camera. A lot of quadcopters say 1080, but it doesn't actually meet the grade when it comes to pixels and when it comes to actual video output. So I'm going to be quite interested to see exactly how that looks. And then of course you have the camera here, which you can move. You can angle poise it should you want to. Now the camera is about the flimsiest thing that's on here. It feels really quite flimsy. It feels really quite plasticky. It doesn't feel that well put together, the whole module that is. It does feel, apologies about that, oh, scooters going past. It does feel quite flimsy. It doesn't feel the best. When you consider how well made this feels in the propeller arms, everything feels really quite nicely put together. The camera module really doesn't feel that good at all. But still, if it records, then I'm not really going to care that much. Then we've got our landing sprigs, which double up as little rubber bungs here. They're just on the bottom of the motor mounts, and you have them on all 4 of these motors here. They feel quite sturdy. Feel as if they're going to stop you on gravel and on concrete, as well as bring you down to a nice little cushioned landing there on a bit of grass perhaps. I think here these are just stuck on, so there's a possibility these could rip off, but hopefully we'll see that they don't. They do feel as if they are on there quite secure, but if you give a bit of pressure you can make them come apart slightly. Then we've got our LEDs. We saw those a little while ago, nice little bubbled finish there, little plastic on the outside, no problem whatsoever. Then we have our 4 propellers. Propellers feel quite good. They are just standard propeller, to be honest. It's quite thin plastic, but when it comes to that, you don't really want anything which is, too heavy, too convoluted, too thick. You just want something that's going to work well with the quadcopter. I think this is going to work quite well. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to fold all this back up for a second, and then we're going to weigh it. We're going to see exactly how much this comes in. This is going to be the flying weight, so battery included. It feels as if it's less than 250 grams. Whole thing is 200, so you're 50 grams under the restriction there. That's not too bad. Right, that feels quite good. I'm quite looking forward to taking that out and having a little look and seeing exactly how this does. Right, so that's the quadcopter. Anything else to say? Yes, remote control distance is between it says 200 meters around. So approximately, so I probably wouldn't take it to anything further than about 120, 130 meters. You want to be ensuring that you have full FPV relay and that you can actually control the quadcopter. So I wouldn't take it to 200 meters, as it says approx, as it says around the 200 mark. Right, accessories. We have 4 spare propellers. We have a charger in here, which is just a micro USB cable, which plugs in directly into the battery. We have a screwdriver. We have 4 propeller guards as well, and that's everything for the accessories. Now we come on to the transmitter, and wow, that is a beast. Again, same coloration, black and quite dark grey with some gold. I think it looks quite nice. I think it works quite well, but it is absolutely colossal. Now, when you hold it in your hand, you've got some nice little pads at the back there which just hold in quite nicely. Ooh, that feels weird. The analog sticks feel very plastic, very hollow as well. It doesn't seem to be that nice stiffness you get with some transmitters. This does feel, I don't know if you can hear, it feels quite strange. It sounds as if there's plastic rubbing on plastic. It doesn't feel nice and smooth. Now let's go into some of these buttons. So we have a lot of trim buttons on here for your standard roll, pitch and yaw. Then we also got record video, take photo. You've got emergency stop. You've also got your headless mode, return to home, and compass calibration perhaps, maybe? It is a picture of a compass. One of them is headless mode, one of them is return to home, but I will find out which one. So that's okay. I think return to home is that one actually. And then you should have headless mode, and I'll find out what that one does by the flight. You have an on and off button. Feels, again, quite plastic. Doesn't really feel that good. You have your shoulder button which says orbiting. So I'm guessing that is something that will orbit around you. We'll come into that when we take it out for a flight. As well as you have your speed mode on your left analog stick there as well. On your left shoulder button. These analog sticks don't click. They do depress slightly, but there's no click there, and there's no analog stick on the there's no buttons on the back. Apart from there is a nice little GPS label there as well. So let's open up this accessory pack, get the screwdriver out, and unscrew this screw from the back here. Now that then, I'm guessing this is going to take double A's, but just to be on the safe side, let's double check. Yep, 4 AA batteries in the back here. This transmitter does not allow USB charging of any sort, so you have got to ensure the batteries, when they go in, are fully charged and or shop bought to ensure your transmitter is going to work properly. Now, as we're looking at the back, you have this little panel here which you click and pull up. When you click and pull up, that allows you to click in your FPV boom there. Now that feels, you can't move it up and down. You can, obviously, you have it placed in a particular way, and then you can, obviously you do have a stretcher here so you can put a larger size phone in here, but you can't move it about. It is fixed. It gives you quite a nice angle to look at. I think that is going to be okay, apart from if you fly with your controller quite high up, then you are going to find, if that's the case, the FPV boom is going to be looking at the floor. If you put it back a little bit, you should be able to see it quite easily, quite nicely. Okay, we'll give that a real world test when we come to fly it in the next couple of days. Right then, okay, now we come on to the manual. And inside here, it is quite a well laid out manual. Just to let you know, the buttons on the transmitter on the bottom, headless mode is the second next to emergency stop, and then you have geomagnetic correction, which is the button on the far right that I was talking about here. Right, okay, so the manual goes into a lot of different information as to what geomagnetic correction does. Actually, no, it doesn't tell you what that does. It just shows you the button and then moves on to emergency stop. Doesn't actually tell you what it does. Uncontrolled return as well, 1 key return to home, how to inspect the quadcopter, how to unlock the aircraft, and how to get it all up in the air. Then you also have your QR codes here for your application, should you want to use it in FPV. So I'll tell you what we're going to do, folks. I'm going to have a look at that application. So we'll switch from this for the second, go on to the application, and then we'll come back and look at the whole package as a whole. Right then, this is the application. It's called the XSW GPS, and we're just going to allow it there to use my screen and to use my phone how it wants to. Okay, so this looks quite nice. It looks actually quite a well thought out and quite a well laid out application. Let's start off on the top left. You have your return to home button. So if you click that, you return to the main screen, which you can click the GPS button, and that takes you back into the app. Then you've got your altitude and your distance, your speed as well, vertical and horizontal. The amount of satellites in the middle, as well as roll, pitch and yaw degrees. That is nice. Oh, wow. Okay, I haven't seen that before on an app. That is really good. Then you've got your battery, as well as your signal, as well as your settings cog. So if we turn that, then you can see these are a load of the distances you have right at the start. So you have your default height of waypoint, your maximum height of waypoint, your speed of waypoint, maximum stay time, maximum radius of waypoint as well as you've got your map view, whether you want the map to be displayed, map coordinates, etc, etc. And then you've got your other, which is real-time preview in 480 or 720, accelerometer calibration and magnetometer calibration as well. Then you've got your little map underneath that. Then you've got your VR goggles. You've got take photo, take video, and then you've got to look at your photo and your video under there as well. So as standard, it'll be on the photo. Then you can click to go on to the video. You can also click the top right button, which is to trash, as well as you can click the left button as well to go back to home. The home button there will take you back to this screen. So now we're at the bottom right-hand corner. Sorry, the bottom left-hand corner, which you can swap your camera by the look of it. I don't know what that's going to do. We've got to have a little look at that. I think that may be between photo and between video. Then you've got your return to home. You've got your GPS waypoint by the look of it. And then you've got your follow me as well, that looks like. But we'll double check all those when we take her out for a flight in the next few days. All in all, this looks quite nice. It's quite refreshing to have an application which actually puts a bit of time into it. Now let's just see exactly how this looks on the day when we fly. Alright then folks, let's go back and have a little look at the whole package as a whole. Alright then folks, so this is what we get. We get the quadcopter. We get the transmitter, the mighty transmitter. We get our bag of accessories. And we also get our manual, which is actually worth a bit of a read. It's actually pretty good. So that is everything that you get there, folks. Thank you ever so much for watching and listening. I've been JD. You've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time, my friends, happy flying.